Welcome to Soul via Soul, the podcast where we embark on a journey of self-love and true wellness. I'm your host, Jada, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you here with me as we dive into all things mind, body, and soul. Now, what do you say we get this thing started? Let's dive in. Let me be direct with you. The root cause of a disease, from a holistic perspective, is often linked to imbalances in the body. Our bodies are complex systems with various interconnected parts that need to work in harmony for optimal health. When any of these parts are malfunctioning or overworked, it can lead to imbalances that weaken our immune system and make us more susceptible to disease. This is why it's so important to take a holistic approach to health, one that considers all aspects of our well-being, including our diet, our lifestyle, and mental health. By addressing the root cause of disease and taking a holistic approach to health, we can prevent illness and achieve long-lasting wellness. I opened my integrated health and wellness practice in 2020. And the impetus of doing that, and then later creating my online wellness holistic practice, Soul via Soul, was to really bring this message home so that anybody, anywhere, could start to achieve balanced wellness by applying some pretty simple and basic tools. This was the reason I started these companies, to really drive home the importance of looking at our health and wellness through the lens of holistic mind, body, soul integration. So let's get into the root cause of disease. And even if we break that word up, dis-ease, there's really a clue to the root cause of disease in the two root words, dis-ease. And it is that dis-ease that we have with our body and with our mind that is actually the underpinning of disease. Even the major diseases like cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, even the big ones. The underpinning of disease is dis-ease. And it is that disconnection, the disharmony that causes the stress on our system, leaving us susceptible. So let's talk about some of those basic imbalances and how do we reconnect to our bodies and our minds and ultimately our soulful self by looking at the root cause and really the solution, which is reconnecting to ourself, coming home to ourself, coming home to our intuition, our inner knowing. So imbalances and blockages, let's talk about that for just a minute. Diseases can arise when there are imbalances or blockages in the flow of energy or life force within the body. This perspective is often associated with traditional healing systems like traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurveda, which emphasizes restoring balance and harmony to promote health. These ancient, actually, healing systems are much older than our Western medicine counterparts, and there's a lot that we could learn by looking a little to the East. And according to traditions and healing systems like traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, good health depends on the harmonious flow of energy within the body. So when there's a disruption in this flow, then we have disease. Let's go to the next one. Lifestyle choices. Now, this is a big one because this falls squarely on our shoulders. And honestly, most holistic practices, because they're going to have a little skin in the game, It will fall to us. I think one of the reasons there are so many diseases and people with ill health is because we rely on other people. We rely on bandages. We rely on quick fixes, and we rely on someone else to come along and give us a pill that we think is going to magically restore our health. And that's just not simply how it's going to work, at least in the long term. So, unhealthy lifestyle choices such as poor nutrition, lack of exercise, inadequate sleep, which is a big one, chronic stress, another big one, can disrupt the body's natural equilibrium and weaken its resilience. These factors can lead to a variety of health problems over time. Our daily habits and choices play a significant role in our overall health and wellness. Simple tools such as eating a balanced diet, moving your body and engaging in regular physical activity every day, prioritizing restful, restorative sleep, and managing stress can support a holistic well being and reduce the risk of disease. Another big one is the emotional and mental well being of ourselves. Suppressed emotions, chronic stress, unresolved trauma, negative thought patterns, and lack of emotional support can contribute to the development of disease. And there's a big one I'm going to throw in there too that just popped into my mind, and that is forgiveness. A lot of people have a lot of anger, resentment, shame, and guilt that they just carry around, and it is energetically very heavy. And letting go and really getting to the heart of forgiveness can really lighten your energetic load and elevate your frequency and help in the restoring of balance in our energetic bodies. Unresolved emotional issues like these can generate psychological stress responses and, when prolonged, can contribute to the development of diseases like hypertension, cardiovascular disease, gastrointestinal problems, which I see a ton of, and then, of course, mental health conditions, which I also see in my practice. Cultivating emotional awareness, practicing stress management techniques, cultivating mindfulness, meditation, seeking support from therapists and counselors and other professionals that promote well being are going to have a positive influence on our overall mental and physical health. Another big one is a lack of self-care and self-awareness. I teach a lot on this, and this is one of the underpinnings of Soul is actually understanding that it's when we get to the root of loving ourselves that we understand that that's where the motivation to continue these daily practices that lead us toward health and wellness are going to start. Neglecting self-care practices, not listening to the body's needs, ignoring the signals and wisdom that arise from within can create a disconnection from our own bodies. This disconnection can hinder our ability to recognize imbalances or respond appropriately to the early signs of illness. Our fast-paced modern lifestyle, it's praised, number one, but it's also easy to neglect self-care practices and disregard the signals our bodies provide. Ignoring basic needs like rest, relaxation, healthy boundaries, and self-nurturing can result in chronic fatigue, burnout, a weakened immune system, and the susceptibility to illness. Developing self-awareness involves paying attention to the physical sensations, emotions, and intuitive insights. Being able to hear that inner wisdom, being able to connect to that intuition is also something I teach, and it's something that we have lost in our adult fast-paced world. Returning to that, returning home to that innate inner childlike wisdom that we were born with is something I also help women cultivate. I say women, it's both men and women, but Primarily, it's women who seek to come into my world. It allows us to recognize our imbalances early, and often the early signs of disease are going to be on an energetic level. And unless we are tuned in to our energetic body, we're going to miss those. And we're going to ignore the signs, and then they show up in our physical body. But they're going to happen on an energetic level first. And that's where we have to be perceptive. And then there's environmental factors. Excessive exposure to toxins, pollutants, electromagnetic radiation, and by goodness me, we all walk around with a little computer in our pocket with our phones. We're constantly exposed to all sorts of harmful substances that can have a detrimental effect on our health. From a holistic health perspective, we recognize the importance of creating a healthy and supportive environment to minimize these external stressors. The environment we live in can significantly impact our health. And exposure to environmental toxins, pollutants, and irradiation can cause an increased risk in respiratory disease. And exposure to pesticides and pollutants contribute to neurological disorders. Taking measures to reduce exposure to these things, improving our indoor air quality, and adopting practices that help us live in a clean, healthy environment is also going to improve our health. I have another podcast on decluttering, and the space in which we live also significantly contributes to our emotional and physical well-being. And having a clean, loving environment absolutely impacts our mental and physical health. And then last, and I pause that it's last. I don't mean for it to be last, but it's one thing I want to touch upon, and that is our spiritual disconnection. This isn't talked about a lot in wellness because I think we tiptoe around it. And not that it's a religious piece. I don't want to go there. I want to go into the spirituality of it because it's the spirituality that is kind of the issue. That connection to our soul, that connection to our soulful center is absolutely paramount. And again, that's kind of the reason behind the name soul via soul. It's the connection of our bodies and using our bodies as an instrument and a vessel to return to our spiritual self. That disconnection from our spiritual or higher self can absolutely contribute to disease. This disconnection can manifest as a lack of purpose, a loss of meaning, or a sense of being disconnected from the larger web of life. From a holistic health perspective, we recognize the importance of addressing the spiritual dimension of an individual. That sense of purpose and connection to something larger than yourself and feeling that sense of belonging can absolutely enhance overall well-being. When individuals feel disconnected from their spiritual or higher self, it can lead to feelings of emptiness, meaningless, or disorientation, which can absolutely impact mental and physical health. Exploring these things like meditation, spending time in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, and connecting with a supportive community like my via collective mental health membership can foster a sense of spirituality and can contribute to holistic health. So, from a holistic standpoint, restoring health involves addressing all these factors and seeking a comprehensive understanding that the individual is a whole, and that whole is mind, body, and soul. And it emphasizes the importance of self-care practices, stress management, emotional healing, nourishing the body with healthy foods, healthy choices, fostering positive beliefs and attitudes, and reconnecting to your own inner wisdom and intuition. And it's worth noting that while holistic approaches can be complementary to conventional medicine, it is always important to consider putting this and talking about these things with your practitioner and having these discussions and bringing this into the conversation. So let's make a commitment to prioritize our health, take a more holistic approach to well-being. It's going to improve your body, your mind, and your enhanced spiritual connection to your soulful self. If you enjoyed this podcast, then I have some great news for you. First, like and subscribe to stay up to date with new episodes on all things wellness to help you connect back to you for healing and wellness in body, mind, and soul. Secondly, consider joining the coolest membership around called the VIA Collective to enhance your personal wellness journey unlike any other program out there. As a medical and mental health professional, this membership is jam-packed with tools, resources, mini courses, workshops, guided meditations, and guided journal exercises, as well as exclusive pricing on all my courses, and includes optional monthly one-on-one individual and group coaching sessions on all things wellness. It's like having a medical professional and mental health professional on call and tucked in your back pocket to help you reconnect to you and come home to living your best life. Go to the link in the show notes and join the VIA Collective today and elevate your mental and physical health. The best version of you is waiting.